Hello and welcome to another Just Flying episode. Or really, I suppose this one should be a Just Landing episode, as that's all we're going to do. Nearly at our destination now. This was... I was kind of having a little experiment, as I'd never done it, to see how long a flight from Mauritius to Reunion Island would take. Now obviously that changes depending on the speed of the aircraft you're flying, but thought if I do it once in one thing, then that should give me a rough idea of other planes. So took off from Mauritius main airport, which I've totally forgotten the name of now, although one I do remember where we're landing at, and that's Roland Garros Airport here on Reunion Island. But as I don't make long full flight videos, I wasn't going to bother recording any of this, and we'd been in cloud for a lot of the journey too, so there wouldn't have been anything to look at if I had done so. But we've just broken free from the weather, and it seemed like quite a nice view, so yeah, why not? Let's hit the record button and you can join me for our landing. Now we'll have a quick chat about the X-Plane 12.1 update, which I've now got and what you're looking at. Obviously it's a beta version, as X-Plane will tell you, so there might be bugs or crashes, but from my time with it, things have gone smoothly enough. And certainly the clouds look better too, as here by Reunion there were quite often some rather strange and unrealistic looking cloud formations. Not seen any of those since I downloaded the update, so fingers crossed that's cured. Although it has been quite a limited amount of time with clouds in the sky. I've been here but scenery making, and that's just a lot easier to set the weather manually to a clear day, so there isn't any cloud or bad weather to get in the way when you're trying to check your progress and look at things as you're going along with an airport. Now I've been doing that for years, so yeah, realistically it's only been 2 flights here. One to check the new scenery earlier today, and this one, which is evening time for me right now. Yeah, clouds are looking okay so far. Did also have a quick look at the coastlines, as they say there've been some updates to the water. That seems like it's improved a little bit too. Still not right, but better at least. Where the ortho used to cast a shadow, so it still does that if you're low enough, but it's not too bad. There's Roland Garros Airfield where we're going. That engine note just changed then. We've got a problem. Okay, I think we have. Autopilot off. Fuel. It's going to be fuel, isn't it? I bet. Yeah, that's making a nice noise again, so other engine, come on, move. That one. Yeah, that's sounding a lot better. Slide back into the itches. Okay, right, we're fine. Yeah, we're still 1,000 feet above the sea. We're okay. That went well. A little more excitement than I was hoping for. Yeah, it's kind of a function of short hop kind of flights. Yeah, the vast majority of the things I ever do are small enough distances where the default amount of fuel you get when X-Plane loads an aircraft, that's more than enough to get me from A to B. So yeah, never gave it a thought to check how we were doing with the fuel and if we were going to run out. Yeah, not sure how much there is in the auxiliary tanks, but should be enough as we'll be down in a few minutes anyway, so that will be okay. Although I seem to remember something about the correct procedures. I could be wrong with this, might be making it up, could be thinking of something else, but I believe you're supposed to take off on main tanks, then switch to auxiliary tanks and empty those, and then back to the mains for the remainder of your journey and landing. Now I've just done that kind of backwards, so I've actually got empty main tanks now and fuel weight and inertia in the auxiliary tanks. And not being sure where those auxiliary tanks are located, is that going to change the handling, centre of gravity, anything else? No idea, but it seems to be flying okay at the moment, so yeah, hopefully we'll be good. Yeah, I had been checking out the autopilot on here, which is not something I've really bothered with before. Like hand flying while admiring the scenery, that's more the kind of thing I do whenever this plane comes out of the hangar. But when we took off from Mauritius, not long after that we entered cloud. And to be fair, it didn't look to have a really high ceiling, so I probably could have climbed up on top of it quite easily, but instead of that, had a bit of fun with some hand flying, instrument flying. And then when we were close enough to hook up to the VOR here at Roland Garros, I've been letting Mr. Autopilot do its thing. Yeah, put that on and then left the cockpit and went to make myself a cup of coffee. It is kind of one of the reasons why I don't go online or use VATSIM or something like that. It's, yeah, Kennedy Tower established on the ILS, but I'm just hitting the pause button as I'm going to go and put the kettle on. Yeah, they'd love me with that, wouldn't they? Yeah, so I was going to give the autopilot a test with the approach, as there is an ILS here. This distance out I probably still could, but no, I'll give up and fly it myself from here on in. With what's just happened, I'm not certain how much fuel we have. Just in case the engines do die on us, I'll have to turn right and pick a road to land on. Yeah, we'll do that manually. Although that could be an interesting experiment for another day. Just thinking, tail wheel lock on. That's something I never bother with usually, but got correct procedures in my head, so I'm just thinking about that. And yeah, experiment for another day. We've got an approach function, but not an auto land. So that's never going to go well in planes with a nose wheel. But as we have our main landing gear at the front of this plane, what happens if I sit back and let it fly itself into the ground? Yeah, at some point in the future, there will be another video where I try that. I mean, the autopilot's flying the approach, but I'll still have control over the throttle. So in theory, there's a possibility you may be able to get a reasonably smooth touchdown. Maybe? Yeah, that's definitely going to be one that I'll test. Yeah, reasonably smooth touchdown might be a little optimistic, but yeah, a touchdown where we don't break anything. Which is hopefully going to be the case here. Okay, looking good. Feeling reasonably optimistic. 8 out of 10, that's the prediction. 8 out of 10 landing. Okay, reasonably smooth. Scoot off to the side a little bit. Come on, get back and too low, can't see anything. Try and scoop myself up in the seat position. Turn that off, and yeah, we're going sideways. Oh God, no! Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, I'm trying to remember, I don't think I've ever ground looped this plane. And the very first time I put the tail wheel lock on, which should help you to not ground loop the plane, I ground looped the plane. Okay, not a brilliant touchdown, but it's okay. And we started drifting off sideways. To be fair to the tail wheel lock, I think that all went wrong while that back of the aircraft was still in the air anyway, wasn't it? So gonna say, to be honest, that had nothing to do with it, did it? Yeah, let's just go and park up and get out, as we've had a minor fuel emergency, nearly nosedived into the sea, and for what I believe is the first time ever, I've ground looped a landing in this plane. I'm thinking, I might not be getting a full complement of 5-star reviews off the passengers for this one. But at least we're not on fire. That's not always a guarantee. So yeah, that bit's okay. That stand all looks full, doesn't it? So I think there were a few spaces over down at this end. Yeah, plenty of room. Just the other side of that air rostral one. Yeah, we'll go and park up down there, and that will do. Right, done. Yeah, after a slightly more eventful video than I thought it was going to be, but yeah, I'll see you again soon.